Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this video on the Virgo full moon. So this is happening on March the 7th at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time. And what is really amplifying the power of this full moon is that on the same day, Saturn is making its way into Pisces for the first time since 96. So this is definitely a time of new beginnings, a new cycle beginning. And of course, because it is a full moon, it's this beautiful opportunity to look at what is it time to let go of? What do I need to release in order to fully embrace this new chapter of my journey? And March is a month of new beginnings. February, we saw a closing of a lot of cycles. March is like the word that keeps coming to mind when I think of March is bloom. It is time to bloom in your life. So I am going to go over the chart with you today. Before we dive in and do that, I want to share a welcome to anyone that may be new to me and my channel. Of course, if you've been on this journey with me for a little while, I'm sending so much love. It is always great to have you tune into these videos. So when I do these cosmic energy readings, I'm studying the astrology and I'm also sharing channel guidance from the Akashic records. So I love to bring both of these beautiful modalities together, and I support the light workers, healers, the star seeds of this planet in creating the big impact you came here to make and receiving abundantly for your soul's work in the world. I envision a world where the healers, the light workers, the big-hearted, soul-driven humans have money and they're using this money to live really incredible, beautiful lives on the planet and to help more people thrive. So that is the vision I'm holding. If this is a vision that is dear to your heart and you want to be on this journey with me, I invite you to subscribe. So a little bit of background I'm actually feeling called to share today before I pull up the chart. Like this came in really strongly. It's just a tidbit of astrology knowledge. Some of you may already know this. If you do, it's a good reminder. If not, this may just be something really important to keep in mind. So, what I often see with people that are new to astrology or hear them say is that I don't have this sign in my chart. So it could be, well, I don't have anything in Virgo, or I don't have anything in Gemini or Scorpio, fill in the blanks. So, the important thing to remember here is we actually have pieces of the 12 different zodiac signs within us. Those archetypal energies are all alive within us. And in the birth chart, they rule over a certain house in your birth chart. So they are all a part of you. And yes, some energies are amplified. There's some energies that this life journey your soul wanted to express and experience and move through and work with a little more closely, but they are all a part of you. So this is also something that is important to keep in mind when our mind wants to go to judging a certain sign, right? We all have, I think, some of our favorite zodiac signs, some of our least favorite, and usually that's based on experiences with different people who have that zodiac sign. So keep in mind that as we form those judgments, that's actually a part of us. And we can explore this with open curiosity. What energies come more natural for us? What energies do we like to play in? And what energies feel a little more foreign, a little more uncomfortable, maybe stretch us a little bit more? And simply just notice without judgment. And that can bring a lot of information through as well. You may even notice when the moon is in a certain sign, you actually enjoy the emotional experience of that energy a little bit more than others. So when we can just take note of that and be aware of that, there's a lot of growth that can happen within that space. So with that being said, I am going to share my screen here so we can actually dive in to the full moon. I'm going to open this a little more. There we go. There we go, the Virgo full moon. So remember, you have Virgo in your chart somewhere. This archetypal energy does actually exist within each and every one of us in some way. So the full moon is at 16 degrees of Virgo opposite the sun, 16 degrees of Pisces. So we're working with the Virgo Piscean axes, which is the healing axes of the zodiac. So let's explore the Virgo archetype a little bit more. Virgo, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about the Virgo energy is service. the desire to be of service to the world. And I really like that this energy kind of moves beyond, in many ways, the ego of, look at me, I need to be seen. And it's more about the power of our work and the ripple effect of it, the implications that sharing our gifts can have in the world. And I'll often tell my clients if they're feeling afraid of being visible, there's different things, of course, I do to support them in clearing that. And each of us, it can be slightly different why those fears are emerging or how we move through it. But a big part of it can be take ourselves out of the equation and just look at the message we're here to share and the impact we want to have through our message. And suddenly we're less nervous because it's not so much about us. It's about the power of the message that we are a channel for, or that is flowing through us. Now, the natural ruler of Virgo is Mercury, the planet of communication. So this is also about the power of our words, how we communicate with other people. Virgo is a very analytical, logical sign. It likes to categorize, it likes to organize. So everything kind of has like a special place. And our subconscious can naturally want to do that as well. Our subconscious likes to take shortcuts at times. So we also want to be aware of how this may play out in our relationship with other people, where we see a certain trait or personality characteristic, and then we think we know that person, right? We like categorize and take so many other things that we feel are associated with that trait and then associate it with that person. Like our mind likes to look for those little shortcuts. And sometimes it isn't actually helpful in our connections. So some of the shadow expressions of this sign can be perfectionism or being overly critical of ourselves and others, thinking things need to look a certain way, be presented a certain way in order to be deemed as worthy. And then maybe judging other people that we feel don't live up to the standards we hold for ourselves. So be aware of where that judgment and that criticism may be showing up in your life, and how can you meet it with a little bit more compassion, a little more understanding for yourself and for other people. The more compassionate we can be with ourselves, the easier it is to extend that to people in our life, understanding that we're human, we're not perfect, and that's okay. It's like that paradox of we're imperfect, but we're actually perfect because we're perfect, even if we're imperfect, right? As part of the human journey. So yeah, I feel that energy coming in. Now, opposite that, we have the sun in Pisces. So the Piscean energy is all about surrender. Surrender and trust in our emotional health and well-being, where Virgo focuses on our physical health, our physical well-being, making changes in our daily routine that can support us. That's actually really important to say with this Virgo energy. Looking at small changes that we can make and that we can do consistently to lead to big change in our life. Sometimes our mind goes to, okay, I have to change everything. I have to like rework this entire project, or I have to like completely change my life all in a day. And often that feels so overwhelming that we shut down. Whereas this energy reminds us that it's the small, consistent things we do that lead to big changes over time. The key word there is consistency. Consistently taking actions that are aligned with how you desire to feel, the vision you hold for your life, that compounds over time. That builds momentum over time. That adds up to support you over time. Small, consistent actions. Okay, going back to Pisces here. Pisces is about the big picture. Pisces is about your emotional and your spiritual well-being. And we now have Mercury there as well. Later in the day, Saturn will also make its way into Pisces. So this Piscean energy is really strong right now. Mercury is also the ruler of this full moon in the sign of Pisces. So this is about, where are you called to surrender more in your life at this time? Where have you been trying to push and make things happen and maybe feeling really frustrated that things aren't matching the vision you had in your mind of how your life is supposed to look? And how can, again, you be more loving, more compassionate with yourself? seeing the bigger picture, seeing the bigger vision of what is unfolding in your life, where Virgo is all about the details. Virgo says it's only the details that matter. Whereas Pisces would say, what are the details? To give you an idea of this energy. And of course, we need both. Another little astro tip here, lots of like learning astrology little tidbits are wanting to flow through today for you. So the opposite sign, even if you know your zodiac sign, looking to the opposite sign can reveal a lot of information for you on how to find balance in your life. You're probably getting a feel for that as we study the Virgo Piscean axes, opposite traits, but we see that they're actually very compatible because they need to work together. If you're too focused on the details in something and you've lost sight of the bigger picture, that's going to lead to difficulties and trouble. The other extreme is also true. If you're just focused on the big picture, but you have no plan as to how to roll it out, that's also going to lead to trouble. Now that word's, I'm being a little strong with that to make a point, but basically we need the balance of both. We need to care for our physical health, our physical well-being, as well as our spiritual health. And this axis really reminds us that being here in human form is a beautiful spiritual journey. We are connected to the cosmos, yet we are here in the physical where we get to manifest and create and experience things and connections in such a beautiful way in physical form. Like, it is a beautiful experience. Being human is a spiritual experience in the most beautiful ways. And Virgo is about acknowledge the power of the physical, whereas Pisces says, but don't forget who you really are. Don't forget your divinity. And when the two come together, it's magic. It's magical. So let's look at some of the aspects here. So the main aspect is we have the moon over here in Virgo, and it's forming a trine with Uranus in Taurus, a very close trine here. The moon is at 16, Uranus is currently at 15 degrees of Taurus, so 1 degree off. This is very potent here. And Uranus, if you've been following my videos, you know this energy has been coming into the picture a lot weekly, but especially with new and full moons. And Uranus is about change and transformation. It's about unexpected surprises. It is the awakener. So with this full moon here, this is really signifying a new chapter is opening in your life. You are stepping into a new beginning. Own it. Stop looking to the past to determine the results you create, who you are. Be in this moment. Keep up with who you have become. Stop looking to the past to define you. This also speaks to new beginnings in our relationships. And this doesn't mean that all old relationships end and new people come in. Yes, that could be that, depending on your unique birth chart. That may be more of a theme for some of you than others, but this can also be like a rebirth energy in our relationships, because as you change who you are, like the thoughts you entertain, how you show up in the world, you change how you show up in relationships as well, which changes the dynamic and the energy behind that relationship. So this can be like a reset for many of the relationships in your life. We also have a relationship with our business. I often speak about our business having a unique Akashic records, a unique consciousness and energy that we are partnering with on our journey. This could be a reset and how you see the work you're here to do in the world, and just boldly claiming your space and showing up and stop questioning, am I worthy? Am I intelligent enough? Am I gifted enough? Like, what if you just let go of all of that and stood in your power and shared the message you're here to share, the work you're here to share? So this brings in another aspect here, a square. So we have the moon squaring Mars. This aspect is not as powerful, meaning it's a bigger orb between it. Mars is at 21 degrees. I would still consider it at play, but not as strong as this trine here with Uranus. So Mars here is finally going to come out of shadow phase soon, and this is where we really see things pick up even after the full moon in Virgo, like the week following, momentum building and building and building. So So a lot of the things you've been doing the groundwork on, the foundation you've been creating, like again, it's time to bloom. If you have done work, foundational work, it's really going to pay off for you big time. So this energy here, the square at the time of the full moon, could be feelings of frustration of I should be further along. Again, this could activate the shadow side of Virgo of being overly critical with ourselves. So if you see that come up, practice compassion. Pisces reminds us to be compassionate. Mercury and Pisces, be loving, be compassionate. See this through the eyes of your higher self. So if that feeling comes in, how can you just be more loving and compassionate and amplify instead of what isn't working, what is working in your life? What is working in your business? Celebrate that, talk about that, amplify that, give your attention to that so it can compound and build momentum, right? We want to be intentional about where we give our focus and energy to, because we want to compound and build momentum around things we want to see more of, not things we don't want to see. And anytime we're in the habit of talking about what isn't working, what isn't going right, we're amplifying that. We don't want to amplify that. Amplify what is working, what is going well for you. So Uranus, very significant here. The sun is also aspecting Uranus with a sextile here. So this is beautiful. Trines and sextiles are very supportive. So this really speaks to that expansion, that evolution, that growth that is happening in your life. Get excited about it. What is this next chapter filled with? I would even love to hear from you in the comments, like share below. This next chapter of my journey is filled with, like, fill in the blanks, fill in the blank. What is part of this next chapter for you? Maybe this next chapter is filled with financial abundance. Maybe this next chapter is filled with reaching more people with your message and your programs and your work. Maybe this next chapter of your journey is filled with more adventure, more playfulness, more love, more compassion for yourself. Maybe it's filled with really meaningful connections. Have fun with this. Journal on this. Dream. Amplify what's working. That message keeps popping in. The last thing I want to share here is these are all mutable energies that are being activated very strongly. Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces are mutable signs. Mutable signs are about going with the flow. Notice where in your life you're pushing too hard. And this is very ingrained in us. If something doesn't work, what do we hear? Work harder. Put more time in, put more effort in, learn more. And it's like this very like forward facing, do more masculine energy in the extreme, right? That can lead to burnout, frustration, overwhelm, and a misunderstanding. This belief that if I just work harder or did more, things would line up. And this energy instead has a softness to it. And it's about embracing the softness within you. It's that lean back energy and allow the things you have worked for to come into your experience. And we can still be, I feel like this is important to say, we can still be taking actions from a lean back energy. So for some of you, it may be like, I'm just spending more time in meditation. I've put out the work and I'm just allowing that to pay off. For others, it could be you're still taking action, but the energy behind it is lean back, allowing, trusting you are enough. The work you're doing is enough. Allowing the clients to come in, allowing the money to come in, because you're not in that needy, forceful energy. You're in like, I relax, I receive, I'm magnetic, I am provided for. Very different vibes. Sometimes on the surface, we could see two people taking the same action, but getting very different results for many different reasons, right? It's never like cut or jive, but part of it can simply be the energy behind the action, the expectancy behind the action. That part is key. So that is our full moon energy. So I have a couple exciting things happening. So my assistant is still doing the final touches on my sale or my sign up page for my newest masterclass. So I'm going to keep you posted on that. But that's all about higher self magic, reprogramming your subconscious for financial abundance and true freedom. So that's coming soon. If you're on my email list, I'll be sure you're getting all the details. That is going to be an extremely powerful free masterclass. I also have doors open to my Divine Creators Inner Circle. We do new and full moon ceremonies in there. You get access to my top digital courses. So if you are growing a spiritual business, there's lots of courses in there to support you if you're growing and evolving spiritually, fine-tuning your intuitive gifts, your connection to your spirit team, well supported in that space. And for this full moon, I actually posted a Q&A in there where you can post a question. I'm going to tune into the records and give you personalized guidance. And I'll be checking in throughout the week. So you can get in on that if you sign up as well. Details below. And yeah, I'm sending you all so much love. Enjoy this beautiful full moon, very powerful for releasing and letting go and feeling excited about what your future holds, what you are stepping into, what you are creating, the intentions you set during this time, since Saturn will be moving into Pisces shortly after the full moon. They're going to be very well supported because Saturn helps to bring things through to fruition. So get clear, get focused, small, consistent actions add up over time, and also just practice that lean back and allowing energy. I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.